Hello, it's me, Ryan, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. I am here to go over some of my experiences visiting California for the last week. No idea what that is. I have had a wild ride of an adventure, and I journaled a bit after reflecting on a lot of these experiences. I am here in California to spend 2 weeks on an adventure, learning about myself, and as normal, solo traveling. I am here visiting my friend Brett, who has so graciously given me a extra spare bedroom to stay in. He has a beautiful dog named Jasper, and I have gotten to know him significantly better now that I'm just, spending a lot of time with him alone. I've been able to build relationships with people that I've met before, and it's been a really enlightening and fun experience. But this story is called "Visiting LA as a Chicago Gay: My Gay Community Experience." It's been an adventure. But I just want to start off by saying there's a lot that I've learned, and there's some pretty significant quotes that I've taken away. The first one is showing up consistently with compassion and curiosity, we can relax into simply being. So I have gone through a variety of emotions and mental states and ways of thinking as I've gone into a variety of interactions, and I've learned a lot from this experience. But showing up and being present, meaning well, and intending to exist regardless of what happens in your environment and feeling like you belong is important. When you offer someone safety and security, you guide their nervous system towards love rather than fear. You gift their body with ease so that they can be present and show up exactly as who they are. I think that's really important. I can't tell you how many people I meet where something feels off, or I feel like I'm not able to be genuine or present, or I even notice myself not being genuine. I've learned by giving other people the ability to be themselves and feel safe, I have been able to bring out the best in other people and myself at the same time. I mean, it's such a cool experience to be able to do that. Oh my gosh, there have just been helicopters flying over LA all day today, and it is so loud and annoying, and you know what, I guess that is what happens when there is a bunch of traffic and everyone is driving everywhere. There are barely any crosswalks. Fortunately, I'm staying in WeHo, so there has been a lot of walking that I can do, but WeHo is such an expensive city to live in. And in order to live here, you need a lot of money, or you need to have roommates or a small apartment. The next quote: "The beauty of our quirks, vulnerabilities, and dreams that we normally keep private for fear of judgment or rejection are appreciated. We can find the courage to unapologetically be ourselves, honest, imperfect, radiant, and loved." As I've gone through my life over the last several years and focused on being present and being myself, I've learned that I'm able to build relationships, strong relationships with people who also are living genuine, present, radiant, honest, imperfect lives. Because, well, I'm not a perfect person and I make mistakes occasionally. I've learned a lot from my life experiences, and it's been really cool to reflect on those and build relationships with other people. As I've had conversations and seen people, I've noticed very specific things that people have done, and it has caused me to want to build further relationships with those people who make me feel safe and comfortable and allow me to feel present and secure in their environments, allow me to be my best self and bring my best self out. It allows me to expand outside of my comfort zone, and that's such an important and valuable thing to experience. But as you might know, just going into the first section, LA, it's WeHo or bust. I didn't realize how big LA is. LA is this giant metropolitan area with almost 10 million people living in it. And this trip, I don't think I ventured more than 3.5 miles away from WeHo. So I am here for WeHo Pride. And it's kind of crazy. I mean, the stereotypes about LA, a lot of them are true. I've met a lot of great people here, but I've met a lot of people who are very into themselves. And while I advocate for you being into yourself and your own number one advocate and loving yourself above other people, I've had a lot of really strange experiences where I have met some people from the internet who are mutuals of mine. Like I follow them on Instagram or they follow me. And normally when I meet people who I'm mutuals with randomly in person, it's like, oh my god, hi, nice to see you. We follow each other. Blah, 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 blah. I've actually had one experience in Chicago where I saw someone and I was like, oh, I don't remember your name, but we're mutuals on Instagram. And he like said his name and then I said his. And then like, I looked at Instagram like later because I was going to message him and say hi. And he unfollowed me. So, you know, not that I care, but it's like, oh, I guess. It is just like a fake internet relationship. But I've had such a like large amount of experiences in LA where I've met people and it just hasn't been this like great wonderful experience like it normally is when I meet people. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I'm banned from Tinder and Hinge, and so I don't really use dating apps to meet people. And a lot of the people that I meet in person or via Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or however I end up finding people, but you know, that's how I meet people a lot of the time. And that has allowed me to get off the apps and stop focusing on putting myself out there so I can find that diamond in the rough, which may or may not appear. And a big lesson that I've learned in my life is that once you kind of let go and just exist and are present in the moment and take things as they are, things kind of fall the way that they're supposed to or meant to.
I am having these videos be sponsored by Rakuten. This video is sponsored by Rakuten. Rakuten is a app which you can use to save between 2 and 25% cash back on a variety of services. If you go to my link in the bio of this video, you are going to be able to use my referral link to sign up and get $30 to $40 cash back after you spend $30 to $40 in the app. Rakuten will pay you $30 to $40 after you spend $30 to $40 within their app, so literally spend $40 and you'll get $40. The amount of money that they have as a referral changes. But go into the bio if you want to support my channel, because I don't have ads and this is just my attempt to do an ad read, because I use this app, I buy my flights with this app, I buy hotels, I buy clothing. You can get up to, I got like 30% cash back on Viator, and they even like double your first month's cash back. So occasionally they have these giant deals where they just add 5 to 15% cash back onto some of the stuff that you're buying. So Rakuten, use my code, which is going to be in the description of this video, and sign up for Rakuten, because you should be buying with them instead of buying directly through companies at times. I mean, they give you 15% cash back on Temu, and so that's a huge discount. And you can use Apple Pay, and then with that, I think you get like 18% cash back. So, Rakuten, sign up, and you can support this channel and me and my solo adventures, because, I'm not really trying to monetize this. I'm just trying to have fun and spread some of the love and experience that I've been receiving from other people to you guys, because, I have a small audience. I'm not a crazy famous person, but, I feel like I can make a difference. And if I can help at least one person go into their lives being more present and loved and welcome, that's worth it to me.
WeHo is a very much driven by youth and looking attractive. As such, if you don't fall into that category, you might not feel comfortable in WeHo. While this may be the case, I can't tell you how important it is to make yourself feel like you belong. WeHo is such a diverse and not diverse area, and there is a place for everyone in the community. I am kind of shocked at how quiet the bars have been, but I think WeHo is a very Friday, Saturday, Sunday driven culture. I don't think people really do stuff Monday through Thursday. Chicago on Thursday at Roscoe's is always like crazy busy, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Chicago. There was a lot more dancing here than in other places, but it's only active on Friday through Sunday. Humans are social creatures, and we naturally form tribes and self-segregate ourselves, while LA is this crazy diverse city. Some of the events that I went to were so homogeneous. It ranged a lot into what some of what they are, but a lot of these events are self-segregating. Like there was this one event I went to, and it was all like circuit muscle daddies, and then there's this other event I went to, and it was all a bunch of like twinks. And so it all depends on where you go and what the environment is and whatnot, but it's really funny. It's really funny how a lot of the people look in so many different places. Or maybe it's more like appearances and how they present themselves. Present themselves. While this may be the case, I think what really matters is the relationships that you've built with people. So coming to LA, I don't know that many people, but I have met up with about 20 people that I knew prior to coming here. So I guess I do know a fair amount of people. I didn't know them great, and a lot of them I met, and I've only been friends with for like 4 days, but I've known for 6 months and whatever. But just being welcomed into people's communities and their environment and their places, and being able to experience cities the way that they experience them has been such a humbling and great experience. Find people that allow you to be present and feel safe, and invest in relationships with people who feel real. There are terrible people, there are great people, And it's up to you to sort through the weeds to find the great people that you want to build relationships with. And something that's really important is you have to realize that your time is limited and you can only build relationships with so many people. Because, sure, some people might be pretty and attractive and aesthetically pleasing, but there might not be anything underneath it. There was this one person who I know from Twitter who I don't know, thought would be fun to meet. And then I met them in person. I was like, oh, are you blah, blah, blah? And they were like, yeah. I was like, cool. We follow each other on Twitter. He's like, cool. And then there was no follow-up. I couldn't have a single discussion with this person about anything. And so I just kind of looked at them while they were looking up in the air like this. They weren't talking to anyone. They didn't end up talking to anyone that night. And so I don't know what they're into or what they're looking for, but I'm alone at this event and I'm trying to meet people. And I saw someone who I recognized that I thought recognized or had any amount of interest in me. And it was just this really weird experience. And that had happened a lot, especially on that Friday night that I was out and doing a lot of things. But Saturday and Sunday I had so many more positive, really wholesome and beneficial experiences that both expanded my comfort zone, challenged myself, and allowed me to feel free, if that makes sense. And even though I had moments of anxiety and nervousness, I was still able to be myself and be present. And I think that is so important that I was able to do that. And I look in my life to try and replicate these experiences that I go into where I'm warm and friendly and let go and experiencing and loving the moment, because that is when I've noticed I have the most fun. I'm the most open to other people. Other people are the most open to me. And Friday night at the event that I went to, even though it was the same venue that I went to on Saturday night, it was such a different experience. The venue I went to was called Catch One. And so the first night it was just one room, and then the second night it was like a full building, which was this giant maze party with 1,000 people, if not more, all throughout it. And it was this really cool queer gay experience. And there was 12 different DJs going. There were like 5 different giant rooms for dancing. There was a massage area. There was a picture booth. Check. Bunch of bathrooms everywhere. It was just this really cool, awesome experience. And the whole building was like maze, and it was themed like, I don't know how to describe this exactly, Candyland. And so people were dressed up as candy and had a bunch of stuff. I wore my cherry necklaces. It was so much fun. I think that something I take for granted is that Chicago benefits from a lot of Midwestern culture. And so Midwestern people are typically really nice and friendly and welcoming and wholesome. And while not everyone in Chicago is perfect, I have some friends who can't have problems making friends in Chicago. It is up to you to find and build relationships with the people that want to build and expand relationships with you. I met my friend Nick, I think, a while ago, but I remember meeting him like October, November after I broke my finger, because I broke my finger, and then I have started traveling solo with a broken finger, which it's not fully healed, but I'm not holding myself back. And so while I'm not perfect and my body isn't perfect, and while I'm aesthetically pleasing, I still have to do pinky stretches twice a day, and I don't think my pinky's ever going to go back to the way that it was, and it's causing a lot of anxiety at times. But I've learned through my experience with Broken Pinky Boy a while ago. I've made a YouTube video about that, and it's called, I think, 5 tips or 4 tips to flirt with anyone. And that was such a interesting experience, where he was like the first person who I danced with at a club and had a romantic interaction with, who I didn't tell I broke my pinky to. And it was like this a little bit more emotional experience for me, solely because I had a broken finger. And so being able to go out and do stuff with this person who I thought was the cutest person at the bar, who expressed interest in me, it was this like really cool, enlightening thing. And so to have him ignore me and not talk to me, and he agreed to go on a date with me and go home with me and stuff. And it was this like really funny thing, because I was like, why do I care about this person so much? And it's not that I did care, because I didn't know them, but I kept finding out things about them from other people, and it was just this, what is going on? And so I stopped myself once I realized that I was having emotions, and I made a YouTube video about it, and it allowed me to reflect and move on and grow as a person and go into my future romantic encounters and dating in a much healthier way. I literally just wanted to go on a date with this boy, and he agreed to go on a date with this boy and then ghosted me after. Maybe he was nervous. I don't know what was going through his head, and he has a boyfriend now, so I don't care, but not that stops gay people, right? But yeah. Now we're going to go back into my experience talking about LA. So this is part 2. Ryan's experience exploring LA as a Chicago gay. This has just been an enlightening, fun experience, but I've had moments where I thought things weren't going to go well. I don't know how people know each other or what their relationships were. The person that was hosting me, I had anxiety that he might have negative relationships or not positive relationships with people who I was friends with, and I was afraid that at chances they would not want me to invite him. And so I was having to deal with that or internally, and it ended up not being a problem at all because it was actually really cool when my friend said to me that, Ryan, if they are a friend of yours, they are a friend of mine. I trust you that you wouldn't bring someone terrible around. I'm saying this further cemented my relationship with him because it showed that he trusted me and believed that I would, I don't know how to say it, build relationships with great people. And it's really cool to have that trust with someone that I've only known for 6 months, because it showed that the time that I spent with him in Miami and the time that I've spent with him here, that was real. I remember I saw him on New Year's Eve after the bell dropped. He was sitting 30 minutes away from the party and everything, just like Happy New Year's, like very bridges to his favorite people. And I was leaving the bathroom and I like saw him. I was like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? And he explained it to me and I was like, that is the most wholesome experience. Here he is at this event with all this stuff happening and he is stopping himself from having fun to spend 30 minutes customizing and typing out messages to send to his favorite, most loved people. That's such a great person that you want to build a relationship with. And over the course of my time here, I was able to like even realize how comfortable I am around him and his friends and the environments that he creates. And I want to go and continue to spend time with him and the people that he builds community with and how he experiences lives, because that's what I want to do. That's the type of life I want to experience. I don't always know what I want, but he was able to help me get out of my comfort zone, try new things, and meet a lot of people. And so I've met, I don't know, probably 100 and something people over the course of this weekend, and I'm only going to remember 20 to 30 of them, but the people that I do remember, the impact on me. Another thing, while I was here, I had a therapy appointment, and so I came out here to the pool and I chatted with my therapist about my initial impressions over the course of Thursday and Friday, meeting people in WeHo and a variety of people and how they interact and the culture. And my therapist and I were able to go through and deeply discuss my insecurities and what I perceived from people, some of my past romantic escapades, and some of the experiences that I thought were like significant or important. And it was really cool and enlightening. I'm going to just check real quick to make sure my phone is still recording. 'Cause